been a passion project of mine for the past 6 years.
The devil is a slime, wielding 2 blades the same tone as he. He dons a cloak, red like the blood of his victims. His armor, adamant like his will to fight. Isn't that right? Arkosh Levaslier?
Oh yeah, yeah, but it's what makes me stronger. I keep on fighting, draw my strength from the fear.
Hey, what's up, survivalists? It's Jay of TeamWnJ here. Welcome to episode 45 of the Levaslier Production Diary. Good. If you're watching the stream, let me know right now because I can read your name out and give you a free shout out. Cool. Right now we have Shizuko, Setskill, and Kamatine in. Yep, that's cool. Kamatine says it's starting great. I enjoy this. Everyone sing like every single time. Compliments the opening theme song. Joining me today we have Eric and Harry.
Hello.
There you are. Cool. I've worked a bit more on the manga since Thursday, and I've completed 2 extra pages. However, I won't be showing completed pages that I didn't work on during the stream, because then there's no point for you to go read it yourself when it finally comes out. So without further ado, I'm gonna hop in. I've got a few stories to tell today, so it's gonna be fun. Let's hop in right now. First thing that happened today was that I woke up in the morning. And I usually just sit around on the computer. I'm just doing my own thing. I literally just told this to Harry, so Harry knows exactly what's about to come.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here working on my thing. I've got a blank screen right now. Let me load up a scene so we can look at something. And then, all of a sudden, outside I'm hearing a bunch of yelling. I just hear, and I hear a woman yelling. And I hear a baby crying. I'm like, why is it so noisy outside? Me and my 1,000 years of genius, I decided to open up the window and go outside because I have the genius plan of going out there and shouting at the people who are shouting because they're shouting too that much. I go outside, I look across the road, there's a construction yard. And it's built, like the construction yard is 5 stories up. I'm on the 6th floor, so I can see like right on there. And there is a watermelon splayed out on the floor. And there's a whole bunch of like construction workers all pointing at my apartment going, you throw the fucking watermelon. Why'd you throw the fucking watermelon? I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Who threw the fucking watermelon? I hear above me a lady going, Gary, you're so fucking noisy. What the fuck's going up there? And then next door, there's a baby crying because there's so much shouting. Like, what's going on? I expected to go outside to yell at people, but I walked out to World War III. Like, what the hell happened here? Out of all the things that the lady upstairs could have thrown, she threw a full watermelon. Not like an egg, not like a half-eaten watermelon, not a full-eaten watermelon. No. The full fucking thing. Just yeeted the watermelon down into a construction yard. You gotta imagine, like, a lady going to the supermarket, picking up a whole watermelon, going to the cashier, and the cashier's like, I ain't feeling like a watermelon, eh? It's a bit cold, but that's fine. You do you. And she'd be like, no. I just want to murder someone. Like, what the fuck? Who buys a watermelon and throws the entire damn thing off the 7th floor of a building into a construction yard? Come on. What the hell? That's how a day starts. Sorry, what now?
That's as deadly as a pineapple or durian.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, at least it doesn't smell as bad as a durian. You throw a durian down and be like a gas ball, man. Shit.
No. Okay. I think it's not a gas bomb. I think it's just you're knocked out because of the spikes.
Yeah.
No, you got knocked out because of the spikes, and people around the guy gets knocked out because of the snow.
The smell.
Fair.
Shizuko goes, I want to live your life, Choi. Okay, anyway, let's actually make some progress here. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm making this is the next shot that we're doing. It's this dude down in the corner throwing a tomato at Ulfrin and Arkosh over there, so it should take up a full page. I'm just lining up everything properly. If you guys have seen the scene before, which I have showed off, this is the biggest scene that I've ever created. So it's going to be an extremely laggy scene, and I don't expect to do this that fast. It's just, there's a lot of fiddliness to this. Anyway, we've prepared some topics that we want to talk about, so while I'm working, let's get one of our topics going. Zactaz, what's going on, Zactaz? Harry, you made a list. Could you throw up the list? Or anything on the
First
list?
one is the fishing scene.
Right. This is something I need to talk with you about. Okay. I was wondering if we should do a live reading as well, just so we can see what's wrong with it. Because, wow. PubeBuddy hit me a bit late there. In, Levaslier Season 1, Episode 1, Scene 3, we have a fishing scene done at the lake that we were building a few months ago. The problem is... Also, I'm not even sure if this is a problem. I feel like it's a problem because a fishing scene could be a bit boring. And it's a scene where there's a lot of dialogue taking place. And so I thought of switching that into a training scene. The main purpose of that scene is to have, is to build the relationship between Arkdok and Arkosh. But it is also to show, it's also a foreshadowing because that scene is used again later on at the end. And it's also a change of pace. Because if everything is always high action, you know, like when you tell a story, it has to be high and then low and high and then low. If everything is an action scene, it loses the impact of the action. So that's why that's there. However, I also don't want it to get too boring. And so I was going to ask Harry, do you think we should switch it? Or also Eric as well, because Eric, you're also a storyteller.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. I'm wondering if Eric agrees on this, but most of the time when characters are in a chill scene, like a scene where they just chill around, is when audience knows the character well enough and they're invested, and so it's, while it's sort of a fan service thing, it's also a character development moment.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think maybe it shouldn't be an episode 1 thing. Instead, it might be like where it is at the ending, or it could be like something that Arkdok dreams of.
That's what the original one was. However, once I added that scene, I remember I had the school librarian read the entire story.
Yeah. Right.
And because I have that scene there to build the relationship between Arkdok and Arkosh, the death scene is a lot more emotional. Because there's already an existing relationship there. Likewise, without that, you don't know any of these characters. And you lose the bonding moment between Arkdok and Arkosh. Because, I mean, it's as simple as switching the fishing, the act of fishing, into switching it into training. Because that has more action.
Right.
So that is a solution. It's just whether or not that is a good solution. Because having a non-action scene is also a good thing. While you're thinking about that, Cametine says, Chafe, you could get out of the camera, it might be faster. I'm not in a camera. The bottom screen is in the camera right there. I'm just using the viewport. We could do a live reading of the scene in order to... This is one of those points where I don't want you guys watching the stream right now to give your opinions on the scene, because this is like an episode 1 thing that we want to do. So I'd rather keep this between you and me, but I don't mind reading it out loud for everyone to see what's to come. And then we can work out whether we want to keep the scene or if we want to edit the scene live. If you want to do a live reading, Harry.
Let's keep it to ourselves.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Without doing the reading, we can still kind of remember the scene because it's when the scene basically. I'm gonna describe the scene because it's not a spoiler. It's episode 1. It's basically Arkosh catching a fish for the slimes at the slime camp to eat. And he's trying to encourage his son, Arkdoc, to fish as well, but he doesn't want to because he doesn't believe he'll catch anything of any significance. However, the moral of the story there is that you should try and keep on trying until you get a victory, because otherwise you never know what it feels like to win. And that feeling of victory surpasses anything, any loss. That's basically the moral of the story. Which is an important moral in the overall story of Lev. I forgot to say hi, Briger. What's going on, Briger? What now?
Why are people considering seeing me on Tinder? Fucking hell.
Why people was it? Maybe they mean setting you on fire. Eric, do you have any thoughts on this? Whether we should use an action scene or not? Because I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from in the point that a story can't always be high-paced action.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, even Nico said it himself in one of the episodes. He said that like when they make their videos, there's always a point in like really high intense action, but then there's always those moments where it's slow, and he really follows that idea, so he applies that to the idea. So I'm assuming it's not wrong, but like it's the right thing to do at times if you don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's really difficult to write a fishing scene though in episode 1 because fishing is not a very exciting thing for most people. But it is a very, very good character bonding moment that a lot of people who have read the script like. So I know that moment is necessary. It's just, should we change it? And if so, how? Because clearly those moments are necessary to calm it down. But is it too calm? Like, is there something we can do to make it less calm?
It could be less calm, I think.
What could happen? Wait. Remember when I said... This is not a spoiler. Remember when I said, during one of the fishing scenes behind... You know that bridge that we built? In the lake?
Yeah. Mm.
Like, we could have a shot of Arkosh there, and then behind Arkosh is the bridge. And we could have an Enderman pop up on the bridge. When he turns around, it'll be gone.
Ah.
But that's just, like, one moment.
It is still building up something.
Yeah, it's building up something. I also remember that
Fine.
I tried in the... It started off pretty okay in the fishing, because when Arkdoc first throws the reel out, a fish goes for it, and he gets all excited, and it turns around. But then, like, it immediately comes back in. And so that kind of is a a bit more of an action moment, but not really. There's more action in that than just sitting around. Because if I remember correctly, the entire scene is just him fishing or him attempting to catch a fish, but then failing a lot of times. Until Arkosh finally says, hey, it's getting late, you want to go? And Arkdoc says, give me one more try, and he actually gets it on the last try.
Right.
But if we wanted to add more action scenes like that, maybe we could have... Oh! I had a thought. What if we had a POV... Not a POV shot. Several POV shots. Alright, so we are the camera, but we're in the place of an Enderman. And we're stalking Arkdoc through the trees. Or Arkosh through the trees. And Arkosh keeps on turning and looking. Then every time he looks, it cuts to a different angle.
Right.
So we can mix that in with the actual fishing.
Sure.
Valentine's is getting it at the last minute cliche, JK chicken. No, it is that cliche. I'm not avoiding that. That's exactly what it is. He's getting it at the exact last minute. Okay. How does this scene work? Cool. I don't think we've ever done story building live like we're doing right now. Have we? This is kind of cool.
Once or twice, I think.
Yeah. I think this is kind of fun. Because people get to see our thought process of how we're going about thinking these things.
True.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. Shizuko says you're not staying the whole stream. That's cool. What else is going on here? Countdown says, yeah, okay, I was right, yes. Because cliches aren't necessarily bad. Oh, Jesus, my throat has been cracking quite a lot today. Cliches aren't necessarily bad. It's just that many people, like, there's a common misconception that cliches equals bad, but that's all it is. It's a misconception. Cliche is means just overused. And the reason it's overused is because it works so well that everyone started using it. Things work well because they work well in principle. But when you use it so many times, you lose the principle of it, and then that's what makes it become a cliche. The thing of catching it at the last minute is that builds tension. But because that's been done so many times, it doesn't build tension anymore. And the way I'm using it here is intentionally not to build tension. I'm making it super predictable that he's going to catch it at the end. And that's all done intentionally. Like, he's going to catch it. Zach does a chafe in puberty. I actually started puberty very, very young. Like, I started growing a mustache when I was 10. And I mean, that doesn't really mean much because I don't really have a mustache right now. Like, it's not like a full-blown mustache, but like, I had more mustache hair when I was younger than what a 10-year-old is supposed to have. Any more thoughts on that scene? What we should do with it?
Not really. I think for at this time we'll just see how it goes.
Sure, but you like my idea, right?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. Because it just makes it feel like there's some sort of danger there at all times, and they're not safe. Or like, remember? Last stream I talked about creepiness being something that is unknown, like a fear that is unknown.
Yes.
And when you have something stalking you like that, I feel like it could give the creeps a bit better. Cool. I'm just looking at my scene right now if this looks good. I'm going to see if I can render this. Okay, if we've got nothing to talk about on that topic, we can move on to the next one.
Next topic is the free art.
Right. Okay. Cool. I want Angelo to be in for this one. So I know Angelo likes joining a bit later. So let's wait for Angelo to come in. What's the third one?
Yeah.
I'll skip that one for now.
Pain equals good.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a good one. This morning, and also for the past few days, Facebook has been reminding me, because you know, we get like Facebook memories, like this happened like 3 years ago or whatever. For the past several days, within this week, Facebook has been saying, hey, do you remember that 3 years ago you snapped your leg? Hey, do you remember that 2 years ago you broke your thumb off? And then it keeps on reminding me, I'm like, oh yeah, that all happened in this month several years ago. It's like June is my month of absolute death. I won't be surprised if I die in June. But it also reminded me that, right, I've got injured so many times that if I get an injury now, I basically don't feel it anymore. And it kind of reflected because today, 2 years ago, I dislocated my thumb in jujitsu. Because I've told this story before, I'll summarize it real quick. I got someone in a guillotine choke, which is, imagine someone's neck is here. I'm choking someone like this. I'm squeezing their head, and I'm standing. And you're supposed to finish it on the ground. So I roll onto my back in order to finish the choke, so he can't escape. However, this is the proper way you're supposed to do it. Exactly how I'm gripping my hands right now. I put my other hand behind me as I roll to the ground. And because I put my hand behind me, imagine this is the ground and I'm like over here or something. Sorry, I'm over here, right? So I lean back and my thumb lands at this angle. This like really weird angle. Like kind of like that. And it just snaps my thumb inwards. So my entire thumb goes backwards like into my wrist. So it was a big old crack noise. I heard it. My partner heard it. Didn't care. I grabbed onto the choke and I finished it. He taps out and he says, "Was that a pop?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Is that okay? Like, are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't feel anything. Let's keep going." And as I try to grab his hand, I grab it and I realize I've got a really loose grip. I can't grip for some reason. I'm like, okay, I need to squeeze. And I can't squeeze. My thumb is just dislocated. It's completely, it's dangling. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, okay, hold on, stop. I lost my thumb. And this is the first time I've dislocated my thumb, so I'm like, oh, okay, it's I don't feel anything. I go, Josh, not Josh, my coach. I go, Josh, my thumb's dislocated. He goes, oh. He walks over to me. He goes, how did that happen? I'm like, I don't know, guillotine choke. He says, this is gonna hurt. I'm like, what is? He goes, pop. And it pops it back into place. So, super fast recovery. But it never hurt. And the entire time we were at the gym, we were like, that's gonna hurt tomorrow. That's gonna hurt tomorrow. And we're like, ha, that's gonna hurt tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna hurt tomorrow. I'm like, it's fine. I don't really care, right? But it never hurt for a single time, ever. And then I'm chalking that up to me being injured so many times that this injury is like nothing, almost. And that got me thinking. I wrote this exact message on Discord. I wrote, is pain a good thing in a bad way? Zach Taz goes, you're lucky Josiah isn't here. No, you're lucky Bryger isn't here. Because if Bryger heard this, he'd be going as he usually does. No, what I was trying to say was, is pain a good thing in a bad way? What that means is that, well, this is my thought, is that if I'm so used to pain, if my pain tolerance is so damn high that basically nothing harms me anymore or nothing makes me feel pain anymore, that's good in that I don't feel pain, but that's also bad in that if I get injured, I'm not gonna know about it. And that expands into different areas of life as well, I think. So if you are, this is an example from my personal life. I've seen a lot of people die, and I've seen a lot of gore and just bad stuff in front of my very eyes. I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm going to demonetize, but I'm not going to go into too much detail, don't worry. I've seen someone fall off a building and it splattered. I'm just going to say that. It was right in front of me. And seeing that many, many times has kind of gotten me desensitized to it. And so it's good in a way that when I see bad things happen to people, like if I'm in a jiu-jitsu match and someone's arm snaps, I'm used to seeing that. So I can be one of the first ones to say, hey man, are you okay? Let me hold your arm. Let me get you some help. Right? Because I'm not scared of seeing an arm bent backwards. I've seen it a million times. However, the bad thing is that's not normal, is it? To see splattered body parts, to see, a leg bent behind someone's head, like, I'm used to seeing that so I can be the first ones to help. While most people would be grossed out. That's the good part of it. The bad part is that it's not... It's kind of... It separates the humanity from people because you lose that humanness and that fear to it. What do you guys think? I'm asking Eric and Harry.
I mean, it's the same thing as it's not I forgot if it's called a disability or not, but like how kids has a rare case of losing their pain sensory as they were born.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like, it's
that is a disorder.
similar to that. Okay, it's a disorder. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's similar to that. How they now think they're kind of invincible, but like it's a double-edged sword as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But then that doesn't really help the fact that they could still be affected by people having their arms dislocated in the wrong way, bones popping out, arm wrestling gone wrong, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what do you think about
The
the
mental
emotional part
counterpart.
of it? Harry, you might
The
want to try.
mental part of it.
Yeah.
The mental part of it. Depression.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel nothing, so
Exactly.
you don't need to feel sadness.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even that. I mean, in depression, it's a different case. If anyone knows me, you know that I was depressed for quite a few years. But when I was depressed, feeling nothing is better than feeling pain sometimes. But also sometimes feeling pain is better than feeling nothing, and you get addicted to that. That's a different problem in and of
Masochism.
itself. I feel like the big problem is whether we should be whether gore and all this sort of disgustingness, body parts and whatnot, whether that should be normalized or not. Shizuko says you could be an FBI agent or a doctor. I could, but I'm just not smart enough.
You don't need to, honestly. It's not necessary because
Right.
even like police,
Yeah.
they don't. Not all of them get used to that, and honestly, I don't think they should be used to it.
Hey Ben, I ain't gonna read your last name because I read that way before you wrote that message. He goes, "Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up, dude? Stream is mad. I've always been around. Hey, no, bro, I know if you would be if you've been here before. I don't know where you came from, but I'm definitely not reading out that name. Yeah, like Harry was saying, it's not necessary, but do you find that right now we're demonizing it? Because that's what I find.
Demonizing not feeling pain?
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's always
it's not that bad of a thing.
It's not. There's a good point to it.
Yeah.
In that, like I said, if someone is injured, I can be the first responder. But if I didn't tell anyone that, and I said, "Oh, I'm used to seeing brains be splattered on the ground," maybe that's my wording. But
so conclusion: don't tell people you've seen brain splattering. Done.
Yeah.
In that case.
But is that something that should be demonized?
Yeah. Should it be demonized?
Yeah, should it?
No.
But it is, isn't it?
It's like demonizing depression.
Yeah.
It's fine to be in it.
It is being demonized in today's society, isn't it?
I don't know. I personally don't demonize it. I don't see other people demonizing it.
I find that there's a lot of talk about. I don't know why this has been showing up on my feed. For a while there was a lot of talk about gore sites and how gore sites should be banned. Now, I personally, I'm not gonna go out of my way to find gore, even though I'm used to it. But there are many people who say gore sites should be banned. I'm not sure what to think about that. Because a gore site only exists to... I feel like a gore site only exists to fulfill the desire of some sick and twisted people who want to see gore.
Okay, yeah, in that respect, yes. But when you're getting to like Disney's, we're taking out cutting off people's limbs in the new Star Wars.
Yeah, that as well.
But that's that cutting off limbs is like a movie reference now. It's not even gore or anything.
That's kind of what I mean. Like, I was gonna loop back to that, but since we're here anyway, it's fine. For anyone who doesn't know, in Star Wars, I believe it's Star Wars, right? Someone's arm gets cut off, and because Disney now owns Star Wars, they want to remove that scene, even though that scene has already been there. Am I getting that right?
No. In the newest Star Wars game, Disney is not allowing their option for players to cut off limbs.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. I'm like, why not? Why not? Like,
yeah,
because we have games like Doom, where you're literally stepping on someone's skull to burst everything out. And when I describe it like that, you're gonna be like, ugh. But then other people are gonna be like, oh, that's badass, man. That's awesome. I don't see it as either. I just see that as kind of normal. I'm like, I get that from Disney's perspective, if you remove the ability to chop off people's limbs, it doesn't take away from the actual game. So it shouldn't affect the gameplay, and it doesn't. But what's the point of removing it if that feature was in the first place? That's what I don't get. Like, was there a need to remove it?
No.
Zactaz says kids. But I mean, you can apply the kids logic to anything, really. And it's also like, if we make everything kid friendly, then what's like there'll be nothing that's non-kid friendly. I don't think everything should be kid friendly. There are things
it's like we should ban alcohols, smoking, because they're not friendly to kids.
In a kid-friendly medium,
that,
sure.
So...
But is Star Wars a kid-friendly medium?
They look up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking lightsabers, man.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't want a fucking lightsaber?
It's hard to give commentary on serious topics when you make it kid-friendly. Because when I was giving my PAX talk, I spoke about how Minecraft changed. You know, how Minecraft was a tool that helped me get through depression and how I was suicidal and whatnot. Apparently, there was a kid in the room that I didn't see. But the kid ended up leaving because the talk was too much for him. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's completely fine. Because the talk was not meant for kids. But I also had someone tell me that the fact that I said that in front of a kid was disgusting, quote unquote. And I'm not understanding why.
Did you know that parents got kids into Deadpool, the first movie, in theaters and complained about it?
That's just stupid.
I heard that too.
That's just stupid.
Yeah. That's how dumb people are these days. So I don't find it really anything to care about.
But that
Because
was
it's just people being fucking dumb.
Yeah.
but that was during Deadpool 1 though, so that's 2016, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I watched Deadpool before
People
I
are
turned
already
18
done that time.
by myself because I snuck into the theater. Rather, they didn't check my ID.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew it was a 18+ movie, so I was fine with it. However, I did see kids go into the theater without their parents, like kids, like 12-year-old kids. Sorry, did I say with their parents? With their parents. So the parents must have given them permission to watch it. But what type of parent would do that?
Right. It's like kids who are into like really gross shit tells their parents, "Hey, I want to watch Human Centipede. Can I watch it?" And
Jesus
then their
Christ,
parents
Human
like, "Yeah,
Centipede.
sure."
Oh, what a movie. Have you actually watched Human Centipede?
No, and I
Okay.
never want to.
I had a friend who lived with me in this house, and he had Netflix, so he watched Netflix on my TV, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to watch Human Centipede?" So two guys just sitting in one house, one room, we just watched Human Centipede together. We were laughing at it the entire time.
You people.
We were drunk as well. Well, not drunk.
What the hell is, what the hell is wrong with you?
Come on, render.
Yeah, camera time. If everything is kid friendly, how am I gonna watch my HD 1080p hentai?
Oh, actually, this reminded me. Let me introduce you guys to a little bit of controversy with MMA. So MMA stands for mixed martial arts. You may have heard of like the UFC, for example, which is the biggest MMA organization with stars such as Conor McGregor. MMA has only been a sport in recent times, and in 2016 it was recognized in New York as a sport. 2016. The ban was lifted in 2016. So it's a very recent sport because people deemed it as quote unquote human cockfighting. That's what U.S. Senator John McCain claimed it. And because at first, when the UFC was first announced, it was promoted as this no rules, like no holds bars, basically means no rules. No holds bars contest where anything is allowed and there's no rules and they'll be bloody and gory and people could die. That's how they wanted to promote it, as the most brutal fighting event possible. And people kind of loved it. It was like, it wasn't spectacularly successful and whatnot. But it's now, instead of going for this is the most brutal sport that has ever existed, the UFC has taken the direction of the sport has a lot of good sportsmanship people, has a lot of like healthy people who have good dreams in life and they want to do big things in life and they're all good people and whatnot. There's a shift in direction to that happening. And even though the sport itself is still punching people in the face, knocking them the hell out, choking them the hell out, breaking their arms and whatnot, that aspect has not changed. It's the promotion of it and the perception of it that has changed. And I feel like that has something to do with normalizing violence. I think I want to draw it back for, instead of normalizing gore, it's normalizing violence. What I'm trying to say is that UFC and MMA, it's been normalized into society for the most part, just as much as death and violence is in games and movies. I think, Eric, I'm not sure if you ever had this talk in class, but one of our lecturers probably brought up, is violence necessarily a good thing in media? My personal thought is that it is, because it normalizes what should be normal. Because I feel like if someone falls off a building and their leg is bent backwards, that instead of having all 20 people around him go, "Gah!" I feel like people should run up and help him. But that's not what usually happens, because most people freak out. What do you guys think?
It's not necessarily a quote-unquote good thing to normalize violence, because you do get people with phobia of it, and that's a health problem. But I don't think it's a bad thing where you have to fucking remove it like it's Nazi propaganda.
Mm-hmm. I really don't understand. I'm not sure how to say this, but okay, I'll just say it's flat out, because I don't really know how to say it, but I don't really understand how violence in media can necessarily be bad. Like, what part of it is bad?
I don't see any part of it being bad, and
I get that if a
someone
kid
else.
sees it, he would get inspired to do something. That might be it. Because you know how
Yeah,
like
but that-
people say video games cause violence. That might be it. They think that violence in media causes violence in real life. And there've only been conflicting studies on that. I don't think there's been an actual study that shows one or the other.
It's not concrete. It's not like 100% this leads to this.
Yeah.
It. I personally think the whole media or video game causes violence thing is more of an ad hominem thing, where X and Y has no correlation, no causation.
Yeah.
That's what I would say as well, because I play a lot of video games. However, the problem with me saying that is that I was a violent person, and I did play a lot of violent video games. Even though I don't believe it caused it, I believe that something else in my life caused it. I don't believe it was video games. But that me saying that is just one account. There have been studies that show conflicting results, and either way, it has not been proven to have concrete evidence on either side of the argument.
It has a lot more to do than just video games and media. It's more about environment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As a whole,
Because
which includes media and video games in that circle.
I feel that the problem with saying that video games causes violence is that every single person is different. And so if you're saying video games causes violence is, okay, who are you testing this on? Where are they from? How did they grow up? And all of that encapsulated into your experiment. And so unless you're able to test a wide pool sample of different types of people in different environments, growing up in different countries all over the planet, which is impossible, you're never going to get a perfect result. You think I'm right in saying that? It's basically repeating what you're saying on the fact that it has to do with the environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, are you fine with talking about your environment?
Go on, I'm fine.
I remember that you're in a school where both international and local school students coexist.
Yes.
And so you have local school students who are way more violent, obviously because of their background.
Yeah.
Mixed with international school students, and they take away their violence from local school students, and they end up being slightly more violent than usual international kids, where we're just one big school with international children, you know.
In my school, we had underground fights.
Gangster.
Yeah, we never had that.
Yeah, your school is just an international.
Because mine is just international, and that's the point.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we please ban the spammer? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I'm wondering if it's even possible to ever know whether violence in media causes violence in real life. Well, first of all,
it doesn't work.
We need to know?
It doesn't work that way. No, we don't. It's just environment. Which
you can't.
Sorry,
it's just environment. It's just it depends solely on the environment, which encapsulates media as a part of it.
Okay, but how much
Nothing
does
to do with
affect
media.
Because
Depends on how much the TV interacts with media.
What now?
It depends on how much the child and people around the child interacts with media.
Right. Because with that, people might use the argument that because it clearly does affect, because it is part of the environment, that violence should not be used in media, because otherwise it would propagate that sort of behavior. Look at me using big words, propagate. I hope that people watching the stream are still following our conversation. We're not going too philosophical here. We're going into the real talk peep section of TeamWnJ today. Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, it's still the end question of whether violence in media is a good or bad thing, because earlier we said that I don't know what the bad thing is, but now that
It's neutral.
we can tell what the bad thing is. What now?
I think it's neutral.
Because it affects different people differently?
Yeah.
I mean, can you say that, though?
Depends on... It really depends on how parents and people around the child nurtures the child who has
What's going on, Josiah?
interacted with the content.
Hey, Josiah, I watched episode 1 of Sirius XL, by the way. Right, I was gonna say, in the scenario where you have someone who has been taught violent behavior through a video game and then goes on to massacre something, like a mass shooting or something, that would be terrible. In fact, I think it was recently used as propaganda by this New Zealand dude who shot up a church, and he used PewDiePie as a scapegoat.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as recent as that, but like an ongoing thing with America. School shootings equal video game violence.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. But I was gonna say that, but then I thought about it a bit more. I thought, but even if you remove that medium, would that still happen?
Think of it. Think back to your logic on their if you ban every single weapon, I can still kill people with a pot of glass.
Yeah. Precisely. And so, is there even a point in trying to ban this? Trying to ban violence in media? I don't think so. Because we can never tell how much it contributes, because the pool, like the experimental pool, is way too big. There's no way you can ever account for everyone. And then second of all, even if you do ban it, it's still gonna happen. It's not guaranteed to stop it. That's not the root cause of violence. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Kamatine says, yeah, Christchurch in New Zealand, if I remember correctly, about 50 dead. Yeah, 50 dead. In New Zealand, too.
I think I remember my practicum teacher talking about it. She was really angry because it was a foreigner, too.
Yeah. The worst part for me is that they used PewDiePie as a scapegoat, and everyone just picked up on it. Like, people just ran with it.
Yeah.
Thank God PewDiePie himself isn't... Okay. Thank God PewDiePie himself isn't that he doesn't promote violence and whatnot, and he very quickly shut down the fact that he had anything to do with the shooting. But the media is using, like, clips of him trolling in order to prove that he is violent. It's stupid ridiculous.
It is.
Josiah says, well, he didn't really use PewDiePie as a scapegoat, I believe. He said a ton of memes, and then subscribed to PewDiePie was one of them. Yeah, I mean, what was the point of saying that, you think, Josiah? What was the point of saying that? I believe that he's trying to... This is just my personal belief, that he said that in order to draw a link that memes cause violence.
I think we're just looking too much into someone who's fucking crazy, and let's move on.
I agree. Now that you mention that, I agree.
Because that's that's as you said. That's the many. As Josiah mentioned, he said a ton of memes, and subscribe to PewDiePie was just one of the many memes. So clearly and by the fact that he shot 50 people, he's clearly mentally unstable.
But can we say that the memes have nothing to do with his mental instability? Could we say that the memes
It
have
depends
anything
on-
to do with that?
Depends on if the memes are related to what he did, or it's just a bunch of random memes that he just threw out.
It doesn't matter because if you say that memes cause his mental instability and therefore memes should be banned, it's like if you have a relationship and it went bad and it causes you mental instability, no one should ever have
Right.
relationships because it's bad for your health.
Right. Or if you get hit by a car, you should never go outside again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josiah goes exactly what Harry just said. Yeah. Again,
It doesn't
really
matter how
hard
much
to
the memes
say.
are related. Anyways.
True. It goes back to what we said earlier. In that, even if you ban the memes, it's still gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the loots in the corner of my eye. Who's sponsoring this time? Planetfall. Looks like a mobile game. The trailer looks alright. Hey, you watching Spirit XL? Did you like it? It was a bit of a difficult watch for me in episode 1, and I'm saying that in the way that when I watch things, most of the time I'm doing something else while I'm watching it. So I'm either washing the dishes or I'm working on something. And at first, it was just music, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And I looked, and it was a text-based. It's a text-based. What do you call it? Machinima. And because it was text-based, I had to, like, my eyes had to zip back and forth between both of my screens. It was a bit of a difficult watch for me. So I'd say that if I wasn't working on something, I'd enjoy it a bit more. And I remember you saying something along the lines of stick through a few more episodes. So I'm gonna stick through and to see where the story develops, because the first episode of Spirits XL was also made in like 2013 or something, and so it's understandable that whoever the creator was may not have been amazing at making stuff at that time yet. But my overall comment is that it was a bit hard to watch just because it was text-based. Fuck.
Yeah, if we continue blaming things on causing certain problems, well, eventually we'll just work toward eating causes obesity, so we should stop eating.
That's one of the best examples you've ever given, man. What the hell? You should come up with more of those. What the fuck? Oh, eating causes obesity. We should all stop eating. Holy shit. Oh, dude, you reminded me. Okay, this one is definitely 100% media causing media affecting people. Okay, direct.
Sure.
I believe there's a direct. I believe so. No scientific backup behind what I'm saying, but if you think about this logically, it would make sense. You know the movie Ip Man, my favorite movie, right? So for everyone who doesn't know, I'm just gonna explain brief synopsis of the movie Ip Man. Ip Man is the name of Bruce Lee's instructor, and if you don't know who Bruce Lee is, may God help you. But he was Bruce Lee's first martial art instructor, and there's a movie made about him. And it was made with the intention of promoting his martial arts style named Wing Chun. I know this because the person who made the movie is my instructor. Wow, surprise. So, in the movie, he uses a lot, the person, Ip Man, he uses a lot of Wing Chun moves. So, it's a lot of staple moves, so he does, a lot of kung fu, like exactly what I'm doing on the camera right now. He looks like that when he's fighting. Unfortunately, when you're in a real fight, it doesn't look like that. A fight looks like a fight. It doesn't look like Wing Chun. It doesn't look like karate. It doesn't look like boxing. A fight is a fight. And a lot of Wing Chun people who have watched that movie were under the assumption that when they use their Wing Chun abilities in a fight, it should look exactly like that. And if it doesn't look like that, it ain't Wing Chun. The dangers here are that when a quote-unquote Wing Chun fighter goes into a fight and they put up this stance, which is the stance that Donnie Yen, the actor of Ip Man, uses in the film, this is not a viable fighting stance in real life. That's gonna get you hurt, and that has gotten many people hurt. And then the second danger there is that when people do use Wing Chun in a real fight, like proper Wing Chun, and they put up a proper fighting stance and they do proper Wing Chun moves, which is exactly what I just did there. It's such a small move, and you would never think that that's a Wing Chun move. They shut that down. They say that's not Wing Chun, and they don't use that. And so it's like a backwards evolution plus self-injury. Because they're just denying the truth there. They're hurting themselves. I feel like that is 100% related because of the Ip Man movies. Like, there's no way so many Wing Chun practitioners would put up this stance in a fight if the Ip Man movies didn't exist. I feel like there's some danger there. What do you think?
I think that's less of a danger than just people being dumb. Again. People being overtly stubborn on upholding traditional values.
It's not even traditional though. It's not a traditional value. This stance was never intended to be the combat stance. Even in the manual, it says this is the training stance. The tradition never says you have to fight with your hands like this. This is just the suggested training method.
Right.
It's in the movies that they decided to make all the Wing Chun practitioners go like this. And then that mythology somehow transformed into quote-unquote tradition. Josiah goes, people being dumb / overly stubborn can be a danger. Yeah. I mean, that is part of the cause there. But I mean, everyone's dumb. Like, I think most people here would agree that the majority of the population is fucking stupid. And we would be stupid, and someone would be calling us stupid right now, and we would never know that. But it doesn't matter. So, like, people are dumb. And we can't change that. But in something like Ip-Man, if that movie was never released, would we be seeing more success with the Wing Chun combat style? Because less people would be doing this, and more people, would less people be doing this, and would more people start taking up conventional fighting? Very hypothetical, because we'll never know. We can't go back in time and change that. Because Harry, do you agree that the Ip Man movie would have affected it? Like, would have made... Yeah?
Yeah, sure. People think using Wing Chun is cool. People think Wing Chun is usable. They can think that way until they go up to the ring and get fucking knocked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether that's a problem or not? I mean,
getting knocked out is kind of a problem. Because you suffer permanent brain damage after getting knocked out.
Yeah, but alternatively, if you don't get permanent brain damage, you would learn that it's not a good thing, and you just move on to some other styles.
Well, you wouldn't get knocked out and then not have brain damage, though. Because a knockout entails that your brain has slammed into the skull. That's what knocks you out.
True. Oh, Pokemon Trail.
Hey, Andre. Hey, what's going on here?
This, right?
See you here as well. We're in a real talk peep zone right now. So if you guys want to hop into our discussion of real talk, feel free to hop in. We're talking right now about whether media affects real life or not. And whether that's a good/bad thing, whether that needs to be changed or not, just some like thoughts. We're not trying to reach any sort of conclusion here. Sorry, Harry, I interrupted you. Go on.
I think more than just being a promotion of the Wing Chun martial arts style, the Ip Man movies is a celebratory
Yes, for sure.
thing as well, to celebrate, this martial arts style.
Yeah.
And I think to just remove the Ip Man movies just because people are being dumb is
I'm not saying
again
remove
like
the movie. I'm saying in a alternate universe where that movie never existed.
okay. So in an alternative where that movie never existed, people will be less dumb and not use Wing Chun art style.
Either not use it or use it in the effective method. Because there is an effective Wing Chun. There is a professional MMA team fighting using Wing Chun right now. It's just the reason that team is not popular is because Wing Chun people say that that's not Wing Chun. In reality, the reason people say that it's not Wing Chun is because it doesn't look like it. Nuance says media, as in we're talking about films, games, movies, and all that sort of stuff. We started the conversation up by saying whether violence, whether normalizing violence in our modern society is a good thing or not, whether that should happen. So that's stuff like in Star Wars, for example, in the new game, they removed the ability to cut off limbs. So we're asking why did that happen, whether video game violence affects real life violence, and if it should be removed or changed. Now we're hopping on to one of my favorite movies, or no, my favorite movie of all time, Ip Man, a semi-biography about Bruce Lee's martial arts instructor. His name is Ip Man. He does the martial arts style Wing Chun. And, I mean, this martial arts style is a real style. I'm a practitioner of it myself. In fact, my coach is the creator of the movie. He was the director. But the style is not very often used in modern day combat because it is not very effective. Reason being, most of the people got inspired by the movie and they put up things that you would only ever see in a movie. Guess what? If you try to replicate something in a movie, it probably won't work out very well for you because it's a movie. And then these same people are shutting down the Wing Chun practitioners who are using Wing Chun effectively. They're so used to seeing a stance that looks like this, which is what's used in the movie, and they shut down anything that looks like this, even though this is more effective in real life, regardless of style. And so we're talking about whether, in an alternate universe where Ip Man the movie never existed, would the Wing Chun martial arts style be more effective, and would it be more prominent? Because, and the key thing here is because the movie didn't exist.
Actually, I don't think so, because I think most of their Wing Chun instructors would probably be similar to the usual Chinese martial art instructors. When that friend of mine talked to you about like Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Yep.
Taekwondo.
Which a
where,
friend talked to me about Taekwondo? Which one of your friends talked to me about Taekwondo?
back in Christmas. The
Oh,
name's,
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Sorry. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he got failed because like he did like wrong move or something at one point.
Yeah.
So if you still study, that means that most of the time, if you still study under that school of thought, you'll probably be taught the most traditional and strict way, because that's how Chinese has always been.
Yeah. Even though Taekwondo is a Korean martial art, though.
Asian.
Another thing I just realized is that if that didn't exist, there's another problem. And his name is Bruce Lee. Because Bruce Lee does Wing Chun, and Bruce Lee is one of the biggest reasons why Wing Chun was popularized. In fact, there's some dickhead down the road called what's his name? William Cheung. All right, and if any Wing Chun practitioners here are listening, they're about to storm into my house, and I'm about to get in a fight. William Chung is in Melbourne. He is a quote-unquote student of Ip Man. He is a student of Ip Man. However, his Wing Chun style is completely different than that of any other of Ip Man's students. And every other Ip Man student says that William Chung never trained and or did not train with Ip Man and or trained halfway and left and created the rest of the style himself. Why is William Chung so well known? Because when Bruce Lee died, he suddenly announced that he was a student of Ip Man, and he started building a gym over here in Melbourne. And he used the name Bruce Lee to boost himself up. And then you get faulty Wing Chun, because William Chung never finished the Wing Chun system. And so Bruce Lee is another problem, because people will piggyback off his name, and then you get dumbasses who don't know Wing Chun teaching Wing Chun. Hey, speaking of, hold on, before anyone goes any further. Speaking of William Chung, when I first came to Melbourne, I wanted to look for a Wing Chun gym. However, I discovered that this is where William Chung lives, and I've never liked William Chung stuff because I've watched it online. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. You're gonna get killed. I found a gym nearby my house with some dude teaching people Wing Chun for MMA, and he looks like a complete fucking goofball. So I texted this guy. I'm like, and no, by the way, he's promoting and stuff like he's the ultimate fighting system and everyone should train with him and whatnot. He's saying like he's ultimate badass. So I texted this guy. I'm like, stop what you're doing, man. Like, your system doesn't work. How about we train together and let's figure out a way to get your system to work. I'm not here to shut people down. I'm here to make an effective martial arts style. He turned me down. However, I bumped into him while I was on the train. So this was several years ago, Harry. I'm not sure you remember this. I'm standing on the train holding the... I'm not holding the bar. Because something in Wing Chun that we have to practice is balance. And so a training method that I use is when I'm on the train, I don't hold anything. I don't sit down. I just stand there. And I can adjust my balance as the train moves, and I'll never, ever get knocked over. So I'm in my training stance. I'm just kind of adjusting my balance because I'm actively training my balance. This dude walks onto the train. I look at him for a second, and I'm like, what a damn coincidence. Is this the dude? And he looks at me. He's like, And then there's a greeting we do in martial arts that looks like this. Use a palm and a fist in order to signify that you are a martial artist. And it's like, like a greetings, be easy on me, or we're going to go easy and whatnot. So me standing here, I'm just going to stand up real quick. I did that to him just to show, like, are you the dude? And he does the same thing back to me. And I'm in my stance, and I decide to approach him. Or rather, I a bit muddy here. I think either he decided to approach me or I decided to approach him. And there's a training method we call chi sao, which means sticky hands. And basically, it's a training method that's only used in Wing Chun where you move your hands like this with the other person, and then you try to like find an opening to attack and whatnot. So that's what I was gonna do with him after we got off the train. As he's approaching me, the train stops, and this guy gets yeeted. Because the train suddenly went from 100 to 0. It goes shoom, and he just falls over. Face first goes fram. Just like his feet were here, he didn't move. He just goes boom. Face first slammed into the ground. I'm like, damn. Okay, guess I won this one. Jesus Christ.
I saw that from like fucking 10,000 miles away.
What now?
Saw that from fucking 10,000 miles
I told you
away.
this before.
I don't remember, but I saw that coming.
He left the train immediately afterwards. I was not gonna get off. Like, I've seen enough. There's no challenge.
Oh.
I was interested in fighting him, and he was interested in fighting the train.
Oh.
Sorry, Eric, I cut you off earlier before I went into that story. What were you saying?
It's alright.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know that Bruce Lee was also known for Wing Chun, because I thought it was Jeet Kune Do.
Yes.
Yeah. he was more known for that because that's the one. That's the school of martial arts he created.
Yeah.
But
Jeet
he
Kune Do
originally
is
trained under.
Sorry, Eric. I keep on cutting you off. Go in.
No. You can continue. I'm
Okay,
done.
sorry, yeah. Jeet Kune Do is an accumulation of a whole bunch of different art styles, and it's why Bruce Lee is called the father of MMA, because Jeet Kune Do is not. He says in his book that he regrets naming it Jeet Kune Do. Why? Because the second you gave it a name, it implies a style. However, Jeet Kune Do is the style of no style. Meaning, Jeet Kune Do is a philosophy instead of a style. In that, Jeet Kune Do states that you take whatever is useful and disregard what is not. Which is basically modern day MMA. It basically says, do
true.
what works. Don't do what doesn't work. Regardless of style. However, he is known for Wing Chun because Wing Chun is what led to him developing Jeet Kune Do. There was a fight he had with this monk called I don't remember the name exactly, but it starts with a Wong. So he had a fight with Wong Monk, and he beat the dude down. This was when he was in America, and there have been several accounts. There have been several accounts of the fight. Each account is different, so there's no proof of how the fight went. However, the fight did exist because there have been so many accounts of it, and the ending is always the same. The ending, from multiple accounts, states that Bruce Lee was on top of whatever this Wong Monk name was, and he was pounding the dude's face in, saying "Fong Fong, Fong Fong," which means "Do you surrender?" That's how it ended from several different accounts, which is like sounds like a movie. That sounds epic. Anyway, after the fight, so he won the fight clearly. Linda Lee, his wife, states that he wasn't very happy with his performance. Why? Because with his Wing Chun knowledge, he should have ended the fight within 3 minutes. However, the fight dragged on, and so he was not happy with the result. And then at that point, he realized that that Wing Chun is not the ultimate style, that other things have to be mixed in, and that's what got him into other things. And the most beautiful part is that he's taking philosophies from the most unexpected things. See, Josiah, he's taken philosophies from fencing, so he's taken the footwork from that. He's taken inspiration from Muhammad Ali's footwork in boxing. He's taken inspiration from dancing, which, surprisingly, a lot of top boxers nowadays use dancing as part of their footwork because it teaches rhythm and pacing and different types of footwork and whatnot. It's amazing how much Bruce Lee was ahead of his time in like all the stuff that he was doing. Oh, so hey, what's going on, just Angelo? Angelo's finally in. We can move on to the next topic. Angelo, we were waiting for you. We had a surprise for you. We want to finish this off, and then what time is it? It's 1:13. Okay. 1 hour 13 minutes. Is there anything else we want to add to this?
Nope.
Cool. We can come back to this later if we run out of time. But what's the what were we waiting Angelo for?
Free art.
Right, Angelo. Just quick. I want to talk about this with you because you're an artist that gets paid to do stuff. I too am an artist that gets paid online to do things. Eric, I'm not sure if you do any freelance work.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, cool. You ever thinking of doing it?
One day, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to do freelance or just be in a company.
Yeah. Cool. But Andrew, we're today is like the real talk day. If you ever want to wind this live stream back, dude, lots of real talk today, man. But basically, a topic that's been brewing in my mind is whether artists should work for free. And I know my answer to this straight up. Like, it's not even a question in my mind. However, the only reason it popped up was because someone on my friends list on Facebook shared this post that was like, it said something along the lines, I'm ad-libbing here, something along the lines of artists need to get paid because they need to pay their bills, they get sleepless nights, and they have to pay for their software, and they have to pay for school tuition. That's why you should pay an artist. So don't tell an artist to work for free. No, it doesn't say that's why you should pay an artist. That's why it said that's why it goes, and you think an artist should work for free? ? In exactly like that. So I'm seeing that. And I wrote a comment on the post, something along the lines of, let me see if I can find, I don't want to go bother searching for the actual comment, because it was something, basically, my perspective is that, you shouldn't be afraid of working for free. That is my end goal. What I stated was, I listed out the 4 points. The 4 points that the post itself made was, artists have to pay for their tuition, artists have to pay for their equipment and software, artists have to pay the bills, and artists have to make a living, or something along the lines of that. And I wrote, okay, number 1, it doesn't matter how much you paid for your school tuition. What matters is whether you can get your client's project done. Number 2, it doesn't matter how much you paid for all your equipment and software. Can you get the project done? It doesn't matter whether you can pay the bills or not. Can you get the project done? It doesn't matter if you have sleepless nights. Can you get the project done? As a client, if I'm going to be paying someone something, am I paying them in order for them to sleep and pay the bills and pay for their software and pay their mortgage and whatnot? No. When I buy a drill, I do not buy the drill. I am buying the hole in the damn wall. If I'm paying money to someone, I'm not paying for their well-being. I'm paying for them to complete the job that I need them to do. And so if those 4 points are the reason you are justifying someone to pay you, perhaps that's the reason why they're not paying you. So that was the first thing I said. And the guy obviously got mad at me for saying that. However, is there truth? I want to know if there's some truth to my point. Am I wrong here?
I don't think you're wrong.
Eric, any thoughts? Angelo?
I don't. I mean, to be fair, I might be working for free at some point, so why not?
I'm gonna say why you should work for free. I'm gonna say why you should work for free. But it's just, why would someone get mad at me for saying that?
I mean, even for my case, I was helping out on Lens, and I just directly spoke to Kevin, and it's just like, yeah, just don't put me on the credits. Just, leave me out. I'm just here working for free.
Why were you not on the credits? If you worked on it, you deserve to be on the credits.
Dude, I was there for one day it was for an hour.
Fair.
The other day was
fair.
one whole day. I'm like, 1 day and 1 hour. I'm like, yeah, that's not enough compared to you, Kevin, everyone else working there. I was like, don't put me in the credits.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
He still did put me in the credits, so.
Yeah, you still
worked,
did
you contributed.
It's
Yeah.
just...
I want to welcome I.O.
Yeah, you
Spryo saying
contributed,
that
man.
art is like a service, bro. I don't think it's the fact, the bills, sleeping, etc. It's the fact that people don't actually take that into account. But I do agree, if you say yes to do certain things in a time frame, you can't really complain. I'm going to explain why someone should work for free in a second. It's just, I want to get on those 4 points. I'm glad you guys agree on these 4 points. If I'm paying an artist to do something, I'm not paying for them to pay the bills. I'm not paying for their equipment. I'm not paying for them to sleep. I'm not paying for them to do anything else except get my damn project done. That is what I'm paying an artist for. Angelo says, you're not wrong. You pay someone for their output, not their history or some shit. Yes, thank you. Nurat says, I wonder how this will go for me because all the artistic work because all of my artistic work has to be done in person. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I heard autistic, sorry.
Wait. Every single time you hear the word artistic, you hear autistic, man. Should autists
From
get
you,
paid?
officially.
Treading on a fine line there.
There's a very thin line between artist and artist.
Alright. Anyway, so now that we can get out of the way that we're paying artists in order to get the project done. Okay. After I stated that, I also added that we should, for someone starting out. So for me personally, I want to give a quick background of myself. I've been doing film editing since the age of 10. So I'm turning 20 this year. So I've been doing it for about 10 years. That being said, a 10-year-old doing film editing doesn't mean jack shit. That's just when I started. So I've been doing a lot of film editing since I was at a very young age, and I've been signed on my first ever job. I was 13 years old, and I had to make an advertisement for a security company who's selling selling a piece of like a lock that scans your eye. So that was my first ever job as a 13-year-old doing that, and I did that completely for free. And throughout the several years of my life, I've been doing many other projects along the lines of that. And I have been paid doing several of them, including by the Hong Kong government to make an advertisement for them for some sort of insurance company. So that's my background. And I get paid quite a lot. I get paid a decent amount to do these type of works. That being said, though, I still work for free for certain clients. I stated in my reply to the original post, I said I would advise working for free for clients that have a good reputation. I said that if you would rather work for a company that gives you $200 right off the bat, instead of working for someone for free with a good reputation, you have a very short-term thinking. And the person, again, got angry at me, probably because I was insulting him or something, even though I wasn't. Here's the thing. I would never tell this to anyone in a bad way. If I ever say you should work for free, I'm not trying to get you killed. I'm saying what I did. In fact, I even provided the original poster with evidence of what I did and how I became successful. Because right now, I live in my own home in Australia. I can pay my bills, and I still have time to do art, and I still have time to live my life. So obviously, I'm not a very unhappy person. I'm living quite well, and I'm quite happy. So I would never be telling someone to do this if it didn't work. It obviously has worked for me, and it has worked for other people as well. So I say to this guy, don't work for the $200 immediately. You should instead be looking at a longer term goal. He replies saying, yes, I would absolutely work for the $200 instead of some random quote unquote reputation. He goes, do you really think that if I work for someone for free, that they're going to find me some paid clients next? And my response was, if you think that reputation doesn't mean anything, you're out of your mind. Because, first of all, I've worked for free clients. I've worked for people who have connection to the Hong Kong government for free. And when the government sees that, and they go, holy damn, this dude does work fast, they will pay me because they've seen what I've been able to do to other people related to the Hong Kong government. So that's reputation linking up to a related client who will pay me a lot. So clearly it has worked. Second of all, if you're working for free for some random bozo, obviously you're not going to get a referral to someone who is paid. If Mike from Failing Coffee Shop down the road comes up to me and says, hey man, could you do an advertisement for me for free for my coffee shop that's failing, that's suffering from a lot of loss right now, it's probably going to shut down within the next year, I'm going to say no to that because I've done my research. I'm not just going to say yes to every free project. If someone comes up to me and says, hey man, can you work for me for free? I'm going to look into the company. I'm going to see, okay, who is this person asking me to work for them? Is this person a respectable person with making a lot of money? Does this person run a profitable business? How many people are going to see this? What connections does he have? Etc. etc. If it's Mike from Failing Coffee Shop, I'm not going to do it for him for free. You better be paying me a good fucking amount of money to work on that. So obviously, if you're going to be working for free, you work for someone who has a reputation. If you work for the $200 person, right? If say Mike from Coffee Shop is paying me $200 in order to get some work done, versus Hong Kong government paying me $20,000. Hong Kong government not paying me anything versus Mike giving me $200. And this person who shared the post is choosing to take Mike with $200 instead of Hong Kong government. That blows my mind. I don't see how that works. Why would anyone ever do that?
It's a very short term.
It is a very short term, very
Short-sighted.
acute thinking.
Short-sighted.
Very short-sighted. Very
Okay.
short-sighted.
Yeah.
And so my reasoning for working for free is especially because when you're just starting out, you want to build as many connections as possible. I know a lot of people especially in university, who've come up to me and say, Julian, what have you put in your show reel? I don't know what to put in my show reel. Like they struggle to find content to put into their show reel. And the easiest way to get more work into your show reel is to take up more work. There was another argument that my friend put out that says that what type of reputable company couldn't pay an artist to work? Like I said, an artist is not paying for your well-being. A client is not paying for your well-being. A client is paying for you to get the job done. If you're a starting out artist who is unable to prove his own worth, do you really expect a multi-billion-dollar company to pay you $1 million in order to get something done? Really? Why would they not rather go for some like a graphics company or whatever? Now, if that's the case, then you're saying, okay, well, how the hell am I supposed to find a reputable client if all the reputable clients are going to big companies in order to get their projects done? That's simple. You work for free. It's as simple as that. And you can say to John over at Big Company 5, you can say, hey, I've been looking at your work and I know that Mike's digital marketing company has been doing the work for you, and you've been paying $20,000 for it. How about I give you some work for free and let you experiment with that? And if you have good results, why don't you pay me to do it instead? And if I can give good results, then everything is fine. Now, if you can't give good results, and if you're not confident in yourself to give good results, that says more about you than it does about people not paying you. I think there's a reason people aren't paying you now, because you can't solve their problem. I'm going to read the comments before I go to you two. Nurat says, I was talking about people who want free art if they want to argue about it in person because I'm a photographer. Oh, okay, I get it now. That's a different problem. Sprite goes, yikes. Okay, I thought the guy whose post you were commenting on had some sort of respect, but he clearly just wants money. Exactly. You've also got to consider, okay, as an artist, a lot of artists complain that business people don't understand art and they only care about the money. Well, guess what, buckaroo? You're an artist. You're not a businessman. The only thing you think about is art, and you don't think about the money. It's the same thing on their perspective. You have to understand both perspectives. Nobody is 100% right. You have to be open-minded and see things from every perspective in order, to get anywhere. I don't believe in saying that art is art and it has nothing to do with business. Art and business go hand in hand, especially if you want to make a living doing art. I don't mind if you're doing art for a hobby and you don't want to get paid. That's fine. Go do that. But if you want to make art for a living, you better learn some fucking business. Angelo goes, me giving you drawings. I'm still gonna make that video for you. I promise you, I'm gonna make that video because I'm a man of my word. I will make that video. Alice Bryo says they're not working their ass if they're just entitled. Their ass off if they're just entitled. Yeah. Angelo goes, school projects are probably the same. Heck, you yourself pays the school than paying you to create projects for them. Yeah, that's what the school does. They make you do all the work and then they show off the work. Yeah. You two have any thoughts on what I just said?
Any new thoughts?
I mean, the first thing. I mean, the first thing we learn in school, or most lecturers have told us, both Julian and I, like, sometimes you just have to work for free, and that's a fact. And it's like they're not even joking. It's just they're telling the truth. Like most, like, how many lecturers? Like 1, 2, 3 at best told like the class you have to work for free to get better jobs.
Absolutely.
And like, I mean, even one of our classmates, he's been in SAE for a heck of a long time. But the thing is that by the time we were in Triad 3, he already had this professional DOP show reel, and we're trying to pitch the role for DOP. And I was like, it's me versus that guy. I'm like, well, shit, I don't think I'm going to get the DOP role anymore. Because you're versing a student with a lot of things.
Yeah.
I have an example that does not relate to art.
Okay.
I've been doing like voluntary work for my college.
Hmm.
Uh, for a while now, and now, college is offering me to do admission stuff. During summer
Yep.
for 5 days.
For the school or for what?
For school.
Okay.
60 hour. $60 an hour.
Hong Kong. Just to clarify that.
Yeah,
Hong Kong dollars.
Hong Kong.
Before anyone freaks out.
Fucking hell.
Before anybody freaks out, yeah. For reference,
Oh,
what
no.
you just said, $60 transfers to 360 AU.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Wait, hold on. No. Wait, $60.
What?
$60 is $10 AU.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
An hour.
Yeah.
It's still oh shit.
It's still. I mean, he's just starting out. He's just starting
Yeah.
out. It's your first job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, second.
So, that's fine. Second job.
Better than my first job though, because my first job's literally like, on the minimum wage.
What's minimum wage in Hong Kong?
38. Yeah.
$38. 38 HKD to AUD.
It's like
That's
$3
$7.
something. Or what that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never gonna earn as much doing a job as you will doing freelance.
Mm.
Because as a job, it entails that you're an employee getting paid by someone else. But if you're a freelancer, you're paying yourself.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, you can't compare it to me because I'm always gonna earn more just because I'm freelance.
Of course. Yeah.
Before anybody else here before anybody else here who has little job experience is thinking that freelance is the best option in the entire world, it is not the best option in the entire damn world. Freelancing comes with its own set of risks as well. For example, if you work a job, unless you fuck up, you're not gonna get fired from your job. In freelancing, you have to consistently be able to find clients. And the mistake that most people make is that they find any client, while me, I only look for high paying clients. So I can work once a month if I wanted to, but every single time I work, I get $20,000. And instead of working 6 jobs that pay 10. Nerat goes, my art is beyond the comprehension of any simple-minded businessman. You guys remember? Wait, Eric, do you remember when I was at SAE? So Eric and I go to the same school. When I was at school, I used to complain about the fucking supers because they kept on like stopping me from doing anything.
Doing what?
I think it was while I was spreading love at PAX. Because the school that Dade goes to is AIE, and AIE is presenting their stuff at PAX because they're making games and they're making videos. I said, hey, managers of SAE, we should get our students to bring especially the game students, to show their stuff at PAX. And then the Zoomers were like, nah, too expensive. Bro, what? It's PAX. What do you mean too expensive? It's fucking PAX, the biggest gaming exhibition in all of Australia. Like, I get to present my thing at PAX, and you're not gonna let the entire school of gaming creators? Come on. Io Spryo says, is your job...
Actually,
is this
no,
your
no,
job?
wait.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Come again?
Funnily enough, I remember that SAE had a booth at Comic-Con.
Why Comic-Con? What were they showing at Comic-Con?
I don't know, they had a booth. Kevin, Varshan, and I were just walking around, and we just happened to stumble upon
Oh my god.
an SAE booth.
Oh my god. What are they showing at Comic-Con? We literally don't have anything to show at Comic-Con. Io Spryo says, is this your job or your hobby? You mean what I'm doing right now? Well, technically, right now, what I'm working on is my animated web series Levaslier right here on my t-shirt. I know every single time I do this method of showing my shirt, it's extremely awkward because I'm just posting on my chair, but there you go. I've been working on this animated web series for the past 8 years, and it's been going on this YouTube channel. So I like to think that the YouTube channel is my job. I'm working towards turning my YouTube channel into my career. It'd be great if you could subscribe to help out with the channel. We're trying to reach 4,000 subscribers by the end of by the end of July. And so while you're down there, if you're gonna subscribe, why not hit that like button as well? That really helps out the channel. That sends YouTube great signals, and it sends good signals to me as well. If you want to know how I earn money, I earn money through various different methods. I've gone through this in a different live stream already, so I don't want to repeat it again now. I may repeat it sometime in the future. But to chop it down real snappy, I do YouTube, I do affiliate marketing, I work professionally as a SEO specialist, and I sell merch, but that doesn't really do much. Yeah, merch. You can buy my t-shirt. Cool. And then there's one more thing, but I don't remember. I don't remember. Either way, the key value of what I'm projecting here is that especially for artists, especially for lots of artists, they think that freelancing they want to make art for their living, and all they do is draw, and then they're complaining that people aren't paying them and they can't pay the bills and whatnot, but all they want to do is draw, and they're saying that, oh, we're artists and we get sleepless nights. Well, guess what? I too am an artist. I work on YouTube where nobody pays me. I have to pay myself through the tiniest amount of ad revenue. I work a job, and I work for 4 other different ways to earn money. Right? Altogether, I have like 6 different ways of earning money. And you're telling me that you're struggling to make a living off of doing one job. Come on. Like, not only are they're complaining about not being paid because maybe they don't know how to earn money through the art space. They don't know how to sell themselves. They have no marketing techniques. They have no sales techniques. They have nothing to show themselves the abilities of doing art. And then second of all, they refuse to go do some other job in order to earn money fast. Being an artist guarantees 100% that you will not be able to earn money quickly, because you have to build up your whole resume, and then you have to build the connections, and then you finally get up there to do art for the big companies, and or you build your own name for yourself. If you become one of the world's most famous artists, people will pay for your artwork. People want to hire you to do their stuff, but that takes a lot of time. Nobody starts out like that. It's impossible for anyone to start out like that, simply because you need that name value. And so if you refuse to work some other job in the side to earn money now, I cannot tell you how you can pay the bills, because there's no way you'll be able to pay the bills. That's why I'm working so many different things at the same time. And I'm not stressed out. Like, I'm not stressed out at all. I'm having a really damn good time. Do I enjoy showing up to work in the office, just working on client stuff? I wouldn't say I enjoy it, but is there something wrong with it? No, it's work. It's honest work for honest gold. Skyrim. Angelo goes, the risk is not knowing whether you'll be able to gain something back if you do work for free. But if you're really sure, I guess it's worth the risk. Angelo, it's the thing with working with the different types of clients, man. Like, even me, right? If I was in your position, right? If I was Angelo for a second, and if TeamWnJ contacted me and says, I'll pay you $200 in order to get a portrait done, I might be a bit fishy about that, as personally, because I'm more used to working for people who pay thousands. And so if someone pays me $200 for a little bit of artwork, granted, if it's not me, if it's someone like that I don't even know, if it's some random person, I'm not sure if they'll pay me. So what I would do is have them pay me first. But then there's still no guarantee that they can take the money back, because if you pay someone on PayPal, you can undo the transfer. That's for anyone who hasn't done a PayPal transfer before. If you get paid on PayPal, they can undo it afterwards. That's how they can scam you. So it is shady stuff. However, if I'm used to working with $1,000 companies, $10,000 companies, they're not gonna scam me. Like, they're a big fucking company. Even if they do scam me, it's gonna be a pretty big scam. Like, big company wouldn't pay me $100 in order to get their website done. If you're a big company, like, the biggest one that I've worked with is the Hong Kong government. The Hong Kong government paid me $20,000. I'm not gonna. You can't pay me $20,000 and undo the $20,000, Because that's way too obvious. But then if they do that, it's like, what can I do to stop them? Like, I'm literally a Hong Kong citizen. They can literally revoke my access to Hong Kong. But that's not going to happen. Like, the likelihood of that happening is so low. Like, why would they do that? Why the hell would they do that? Oh, Angelo says, no, I mean the worst risk of working for free. Okay, yeah, for sure. Again, picking the right clients. If you pick Mike from Coffee Shop at 5, like, good luck. But if you find someone who's like, preferably outspoken, someone who's loud, someone with a lot of attention around them, even if they don't earn that much money, if you're starting off, I'd rather, instead of getting, if I'm just starting off and I'm building my circle, instead of finding the one person that's gonna pay me $10,000, I'd rather find one person who's gonna pay me $1,000, who has a much bigger name, and then that would lead to like 50 different people. I'd much rather do that. In which case, I'd have, I don't know, out of the 50, I'd say like, I don't know, 10% come over and get 5 people who can pay you $10,000. I mean, it's better. That's what I did, if you're wondering. iOS Power says, sure, boy, I subbed then. You worked hard and deserved it. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy these streams. We stream every single Thursdays and Saturdays. I usually like to work on Levaslier and talk about this sort of stuff. Today is more on the more philosophical side, just because I haven't been critical thinking in a while, but I like this side of things as well. On Monday, we do Reddit videos, and on Wednesdays, not sure the direction I'm taking with that yet. But I do want to do more philosophical stuff on Wednesdays, just to help people in bad situations, or just to share my own mindset and my own ideas on different things. Angelo says, why is there a banana tool in your Photoshop? And Nirac goes, what the fuck? Why is there a banana? Why is there a banana there? I wonder. I think how you guys have just noticed that now. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Should I add a radio blur to the entire thing? Excuse me, that is horrendous. That is absolutely horrendous. We're at 142 now. Is there anything else that you guys are thinking of that we can jot down? We could end off with a funny story if anyone has one. A while ago, Eric did bring up Harry. A while ago, Eric brought up the fact that we have a bunch of airsoft stuff that we haven't talked about in a while.
Oh.
I remember that you are going for an airsoft game. Sometimes. Oh, they invited me as well. Yeah, Harry's friends invited me to an airsoft game in Hong Kong in June, but I'm not in Hong Kong, so I'm sad now.
They changed it to July 1st because June 30th is completely booked.
Oh. Either way, for those who don't know what airsoft is when we get a bunch of realistic-looking guns that don't shoot bullets, and it shoots these tiny little plastic white BBs. And it's like a little mini game. We go into a building and we shoot each other. If you get hit, you're out of the game. You call hit and you walk out. And we have different. It's like playing a first-person shooter, like Call of Duty or something, but it's in real life. So it's kind of fun. It's like a sport. Harry and I, we played a lot, and there's a whole bunch of fun moments. Before that, Angelo goes, Chafe, duplicate the raw picture, blur it, making the blending mode hard light and decrease your liming. And decrease to your liking. Duplicate this, make it blurry, and make it hard light. Oh, for contrast, you mean? Yeah, I remember this trick. I think Harry's got some sort of.
Do you want to talk about that one time when you were behind one of my friends and he had a grenade launcher?
That one? Were you there?
No, I was like away from the scene.
Yeah, I mean, the grenade launchers and airsoft always leads to bad things. I found out. Okay, we've got several grenade launcher stories. That sounds like a really cool thing, right? If you guys have never played airsoft before, and I've just described shooting, guns and little pellets fly out, the concept of a grenade launcher might blow your mind a little bit. Like, how the hell does a grenade launcher work? Basically, I'm not sure if you guys know what a grenade in a grenade launcher looks like. It doesn't look like the pineapple. It looks like this, right? What I'm doing with my hand right now. Imagine that, but a big old cylinder. In real life, when you shoot that out, it explodes. But in airsoft, you fill it with gas and you load the top full of BBs. And when you launch it, it goes poof, and it's basically like a shotgun blast where like a billion BBs just fly out. I think it's like 120 something BBs, right? And it covers like the entire room. And so usually a grenade launcher is underneath your gun. So you have like an assault rifle and you put a grenade launcher underneath. But Harry's friend got a handheld grenade launcher. So it's like a pistol, but it just launches one grenade out. It's like, if you watch Attack on Titan, you know what the flares look like? It's like that, but it shoots out a grenade. Yeah. And so he fills that up. And the enemy team, I'm not sure if the enemy team knows about it or not. But either way, he was like leading our squad, so I was behind him. And he says, I'm going to use the grenade launcher today. I'm like, okay, go ahead. I'm just going to watch from behind. See where this goes. So we sneak around the map. We sneak around behind the enemy base. And we're about to turn around the corner. And he says, Julian, check right. I'm going to check left. I go, okay. And we peek around the corner. I check right. I go, bang, bang. I shoot someone. And he looks left. And he goes, bang, bang. He shoots someone. He's like, clear. I go, clear. And I turn and I stack back on him. So I'm behind him now. At that moment, as me turning around, I see someone running towards him, so I'm about to raise my gun to shoot. But before I can get the shot off, he has his grenade launcher out, and it's like in slow motion. Boom! One frame, it's nothing. Next frame, white! White! Completely black and white. The frame after that, oh! What the fuck was that? The thing is, because it's not one tiny little point shooting at you, it doesn't hurt that much because it's not one single point of focus. It's like a wide spread. So that guy just got blanketed with a whole bunch of BBs. He got turned to white. And he goes, it doesn't really hurt. He just got completely blanketed. It was ridiculous.
It wasn't a guy as well as a girl.
It was a girl, my bad. Yeah, we shot the guy. What the hell was that? It was the loudest noise, too. Another goofiness with the grenade launcher. You weren't here for this one, Harry. We were outside. My friend Jackson, who is the most over-the-top fucking airsoft player ever. I'm gonna tell the Bigfoot story. I'm not sure if I told the Bigfoot. Have I told the Bigfoot story? Do you guys remember Bigfoot? Do you guys remember when I talked about fucking Bigfoot? That's Jackson. That's my man Jackson. Jackson has a grenade launcher. We're playing outside in airsoft. Usually we like to play indoors. Well, my personal preference is indoors. It's what we call CQB, close quarters combat. But we're outdoors for once. He puts a grenade launcher on, and the first thing he does with it is he points it up at the sky. He goes dunk. It shoots. It starts raining BBs all over the enemy team, and all of a sudden the game was over within like 10 seconds because everyone got hit by the raining BBs. Next round, he loads up the BBs. He's like, I want to try to shoot. Like, so we're all standing around before the game starts. He loads the grenade and he goes, man, I want to shoot someone directly with the grenade launcher this time. I don't want to blast into the sky. That seems a bit cheap. And me and my friend Hank were just standing there. We're like, yeah, that sounds like it. So he puts the grenade in and he slides it to close up the chamber. As he slides it, he pulls the trigger. Tunk! Bang! He hits his own toe. He's ow! Fuck! Shit! And we all look at the ground. And there's smoke coming out of the ground because it all landed in the one spot. He couldn't use the grenade that round because he had to reload it. How unfortunate. You know what? Let me copy the speed lines over. Right. Okay, we've got like 10 minutes left, but Eric. So I was looking at, you remember last stream you said something along the lines of you should invest more in sound effects?
Yes.
So in this shot right over here, it might take you a second to load. It's page 4.
Might.
At first I wrote the word whoosh like that. But that's very, very disturbing. So I'm thinking, would it be a better option instead of writing whoosh to write just exclamation marks? Because if it's a dolly out, I'm not sure that sound is represented with a dolly out. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I feel like this shows it a lot better because it's a lot less. Even though there's no sound per se, just by looking at the exclamation marks, we can still feel like there's a sound. Desire goes, I return in the final moments. You do. Oh, you missed a whole bunch of conversations, Josiah. This dude, I want to replay this stream back because this stream is so. We talked a lot about this in this stream.
You wanna talk about the rest of the bot quotes?
We've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, we have like 4 of them.
Sure. It's just hold on, Eric. What do you think of these exclamation marks?
Okay, just got up to it. I think the exclamation mark works better than the whoosh.
Yeah, I agree as well.
But like, is anyone charging in? Is it a POV shot?
What happens here is it went from this it went from a close up and it dollies back real fast in the animation.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the exclamation mark works here either now. Because if it's just a dolly, no.
It is also
I
the
think
first reveal of this big Enderman thing, because like the entire time they were looking in the distance, we had no idea what they were looking at.
Okay. Yeah, maybe then the exclamation mark works the best.
Yeah. In actuality, how I do the edit would be a loud droning noise getting progressively louder. So it'd be like boom, and it'll cut to black at like the final moments, and it'll fade back into the next shot, which is like a calmer shot. What's up?
You wanna go for the robot quotes?
Sure.
Now?
Eric, any more thoughts?
Nope.
Cool.
I think you should keep the exclamation mark and that's it.
Yeah, cool. All right, go for it, Harry.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Context again. Context for anyone who's new. Context for anybody who's new. In one of the jobs that I work, we use a robot to generate quotes. So this is from one of the jobs that I work in. I'm not gonna say which because it's under contract. I can't say which. But we use a robot to generate some text, and then we just use that as filler text. The bot, it sounds good at first. However, the bot has many errors. These are some of the best errors. Go on.
We shall all hope to produce into inspirational the particular robot.
Are you sure my robot generated that? I don't remember that at all.
No?
We shall all hope to produce into inspirational the particular robot? Dang, I don't remember.
You said
that.
you
What the hell was I
inputted-
writing?
You said you inputted it. We said we shall all inspire to be that robot, and then you input that into the robot. A few
Oh,
times.
yeah. Okay.
And then
yeah.
it came out.
The original quote was, "We should all inspire to be this robot," and it came out as, "We all shall hope to produce into inspirational that particular robot." There you go.
Second one. Unless you got the skill 16, they'll beat you.
This is the first time that the robot has chosen the number 16 instead of 17. And the worst thing is, I did not import a single number. There's been no numbers. Thanks for the loot, Josiah. They'll beat you.
Here. Alright, for one. When you boost your healthy fat consumption, you stabilize your blood sugar, and sugar for energy.
You gotta watch those sugar levels. What is skill 16? Alright, finish the last one. Yep. Wait, give the context of that. Give the context of that one. I think I was...
yeah.
I think I was making a list of the 3... I believe it's the 5 most healthiest foods that you can eat, or something along the lines of that. This is what the bot returned.
Right. 1. Eggs. 3. Coffee. Oatmeal 7.
What happened to 2? Why 7?
What happened to 2? What happened to 4?
5, 6, 7.
5.
Why
are
did
supposed to be
oatmeal
a
come
6.
before 7? Why is 7 written out instead of the number 7? Why? You gotta imagine my frustration working with this fucking robot sometimes. The amount of what the fuck is just right. In like the office is just full of what the fuck. Alright, we're nearing the end of the stream. I just want to read the last few comments here. Angelo goes, Slime brothers are too small. Well, they're technically not brothers. What do you call the father and son duo? What's the word for that? Is there a word for that? What's the word for that?
Like a actual English word?
Yeah. Is there one?
There's a Chinese one. I don't know if there's an English one.
I mean, there's an overgeneralization of it, I
It's
think.
called family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the family implies a full family. These guys are two. It's just a
Yeah,
family.
it's specifying like father son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
What,
really.
what should we call Arc Dark and Arc Harsh? There should be a. I feel like we could call them like the Arcs or something.
Doc Kosh.
We could just say the Arcs because they have that in common. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
If we ever need to refer to
The
Arc
Arcs.
Dark and Arc Harsh both together, we'll just say the Arcs.
Mm.
He says the arcs are too small. IMO is the previous one of the face of these two, or just a single page revealing the monster. There's a face. There's a close up of the face. Sorry, there's a mid shot of the face in the page before. Just like goes, the robots are uprising. Also, yeah, okay, so that's the entire loot. Hey, I return to drop you a loot and encourage you to watch more Spirits Exile. I am going to watch more. Don't worry. After 1.5, you can drop it. Cool. Andre goes the Levasliers. Yeah, but that's a. But you don't want to get confused with the show name.
And you don't want to confuse with Arcadus as well.
Yeah. Holiday. That's cool. Hey, let's end the stream now. It's time.
You just gave them food for thought. Holy shit.
What now?
You just gave them food for thought. My god.
Angelo goes slime buddies. Could you imagine calling someone like that in real life? Slime buddies. Alright, well, we've reached the end of the stream. Today's stream was very much more so, on the philosophical side. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really did. I like talking about these things quite a lot. Harry's still recovering, but it's fine. Our next stream will be on Thursday as usual. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing for Wednesday. I'd like to get the video for Angelo's video out. Wait, what did I say? I mean, I'd like to get the video for Angelo out, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to it. with that said and done, I'll see you on Thursday. Cheers, guys. Oh, fuck. Cheers, guys.